The John LeBang Show has been known to make people laugh, sing, think, scream, throw things in rage, and generally lose their minds. Listener discretion is advised.
Scheduled programming to bring you a show on the edge, broadcasting worldwide and out to the greater universe. You're listening to the John LeBang Show.
Well, my friends, welcome back to this week's second hour of the John LeBang Show. Of course, I'm your host, John LeBang, and I welcome you back. If you didn't get a chance to catch the first hour, you can go to our website. That's www.jlebang.com and catch the archives there. You can also go there almost any time of the week and see the latest and greatest information on what's going on here at the John LeBang Show. Maybe a broadcast that hasn't quite made it to radio yet. Well, that might be on there as well. So we talked about plenty of stuff in the first hour, and this hour is more of a variety type hour. If you're new to the broadcast, we do 3 hours each and every week. 1 hour is a music hour where we feature local, unsigned, independent artists from around the globe. We call that the Banger Music Hour. We have then 2 hours of either talk, entertainment, comedy, basically where I give you my opinions. Maybe we discuss specific topics. And that in the first of those 2 hours is a little more serious, and it's news and opinionated. And we talk about the current events or things that I see going on. In the second hour, we're a little more flexible. We give you some variety. And that's the hour that you are now listening to. If you're just tuning in for the first time, thank you for joining me. Now let's begin. Last week we discussed the 9/11 anniversary, 17-year anniversary, and what might happen on that day. And although not anything significant in the realm of terrorism happened, there were a few events that President Donald Trump had attended with Rudy Giuliani, and then there was the opening of the subway that had been closed since the original 9/11 attacks. Way back in 2001, they finally got this part of the subway system reopened. But something extremely significant happened on that day. And it wasn't really reported, at least widely in the mainstream media, and that was Russia launched the biggest ever war games. This is the biggest ever war games, and they launched it on 9/11, on a Tuesday. To me, that's strange, because if you're going to start some kind of giant exercise, you would think you'd start it on a Monday or do it on the weekend, or why not do it on a Wednesday or Thursday? Why take the 17th anniversary of 9/11 to begin the largest war games ever? Now, in this exercise, they had hundreds of thousands of troops taking part along with China soldiers. So it's not only Russia, it's China on the anniversary of 9/11. Old Vlad over there, he attended, and he watched with glee, ladies and gentlemen. He was just freaking excited at the show of force that not only Russia, but China was displaying for the world in this largest ever military exercise. Now, I'll let you consider the reasons they did that on that historic date. These things are planned out. They think about when to start these dates and when not to. What is the significance, if any, of starting a war game on a Tuesday on the anniversary of 9/11, the largest terrorist attack in the history of the world. But to take it a step further, while they're doing these war games, the Pentagon discloses to us that they are questioning Russian warships off the coast of Syria. All at the same time. Russia's having a war game with China. Tensions are high, ladies and gentlemen, because primarily, anyways, the Democrat Party have demonized Russia to a point where, I don't know how President Trump or any future president is going to be able to calm the tensions between the two nations. Now, Trump with his tariffs on China is getting that beast riled up. And they're wargaming together. But let's take that a step further, ladies and gentlemen. There's also been Russian bombers, and they've been doing this a lot over the last few years. There have been Russian bombers that flew very near to Alaska. Now, they were intercepted by our Air Force jets, which made them turn back. But why are they doing these little probing missions? Because that's what I think they are. They're seeing how far they can get into our airspace. They're testing our countermeasures. Why is 9/11 significant to drills and terrorist attacks and other odd happenings? I'll leave that to you to speculate on. The Democrat Party, who has been thoroughly attacking Russia since before the whole Ukraine thing was going on, all of a sudden the Democrats were against Russia. They had helicopters and 36,000 military vehicles. Russia had 300,000 soldiers, 80 ships, 1,000 aircrafts. Now the drills, which also included Mongolian soldiers, Mongolia's getting involved with Russia. They might as well. They saw Russia and China. They're in the middle there. We'll be part of it. Well, these exercises were condemned by NATO. Of course they're condemned by NATO. But if NATO was to do a giant exercise, which they have in the past, that's okay. Again, we have hypocrisy. They are allowed to have war games, but not the Russians, not the Chinese, not the Mongolians. No, that's a show of aggression. Well, if you ask me, ladies and gentlemen, having war games on either side is a show of aggression. That's exactly the intent. You're showing your potential future enemy, if they're not your current enemy, how powerful you are. And I can guarantee you Russia wasn't showing off their full capabilities. That would be silly. They're showing off that they could handle whatever the West, NATO, could throw at them. And China was involved. Now imagine, if you will, 36,000 vehicles. 36,000 vehicles. How big of an area this had to be to fit 36,000 vehicles, hundreds of thousands of troops from at least 3 countries. Now this exercise, I want you to put this into perspective, was held across 9 training ranges and 3 seas. The Sea of Japan, the Bering Sea, and the Sea of Okhotsk. Now the Bering Sea is where those bombers were hanging out at, playing around at, testing our capabilities, our defensive capabilities. And the Russian army, they rolled out some of their most advanced weaponry yet. They have some new missiles that can carry some nuclear warheads and some brand new fighter jets. They're showing off their new toys. They're saying, we're not scared of you, the West. And they're in the Sea of Japan. You don't think Japan was on high alert? I tell you what, if Russia or China were to make their move, Japan would be the first one attacked. You got to worry about Alaska as well. Not to mention that these two semi-nuclear powers, semi-superpowers, China and Russia, who I actually think are the 2 and 3 superpower on the planet. There's us and those two. Now you put those two together, and if they were ever to team up on us, it would give us a pretty hard time. I mean, let's be honest. Until Trump was in there, we were having a hard time with ISIS. How would we handle a sophisticated military aggressor? Or two, like China and Russia? Interesting question to ask yourself. We've got to take a quick time out, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get into a whole bunch of other stuff on the other side of this. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere now.
John will be right back right after this.
Yes, it will.
Check out the new book from Derek Shelmerdine,
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
It tells the story of rock and roll from its roots right up until the mid-'70s punk.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Not just the music, but also the events that shaped the music.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
It includes the backgrounds to recording sessions, singles, album releases, births and deaths, epic concerts, and festivals.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Shelmerdine has made a painstaking effort to document pretty much every event that would prove significant in shaping popular music.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Purchase the book at www.rockandrollunraveled.com. Follow him at Twitter at R&R Unraveled, and look him up on Facebook at Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
By author Derek Shelmerdine.
Available now. You're listening to the John LeBang Show.
It's hydroponic radio for your brain, man.
Feel smarter yet?
Hey, Leroy, I'm hungry. You got any money? I got a couple dollars, Uncle Shady. I turned in some bottles earlier this week. Well, there's Taco Slut. They got the peso menu. Let's go over there. Okay, Uncle Shady.
Buenos dias. This is Taco Slut. ¿Qué pasa, amigo?
What do you say, Uncle Shady? Oh, I think he's just asking to take your order, Leroy. What do you want, Uncle Shady? Give me a burrito. Oh, that sounds good, Uncle Shady. Hello? I want a burrito.
No comprende.
Hello?
No hable inglés.
I don't think they speak English, Uncle Shady. What the hell's wrong with these people? Here, let me handle this. Okay, Uncle Shady. Excuse me. I'd like to order some food, please.
No comprende, senor.
Give me dos burritos. I said, give me dos burritos.
No comprende.
Now, wait a minute. Burrito is Mexican. Okay, how about something easier? Give me 2 tacos.
No comprende, senor.
Tacos. I want some tacos.
No comprende.
Listen, what language do you speak?
¿Qué pasa, hermano? Decídeme, darling. Bendejo. Comprende. Bendejo.
No, I said taco.
Bendejo?
No, taco. I want. Listen, how about a chimichanga? Do you know that?
Senor. No comprende.
Is there anyone here that speaks English?
No comprende, senor.
Englisho. Do you have someone here who speaks Englisho?
No comprende.
Do you have nachos?
The loco gringo. Sí, pendejo.
Is there anyone local I can talk to?
Sí, senor. Loco.
Well, can I talk to him?
No comprende, senor.
Is the manager here?
¿Qué pasa?
What are we going to do, Uncle Shady? Listen, if you don't give me a burrito, I'm going to call the president and have you deported. Oh.
Buenos dias, senor.
Leroy, give me your phone. Here you go, Uncle Shady. Leroy, what's that, Uncle Shady? Why is your phone all sticky? Well, no, forget about it, Leroy. Don't tell me. I don't want to know. Now, let me see. 911.
You're calling the 911 hotline. How may I help you?
Listen here. I'm over here at Taco Slut on Telegraph Road, and there ain't one of these guys that speak English here. So can you send a couple